For is a false friend. Very often in English, you would use for, and in Norwegian, we don't always use for in the same cases. We very often use til instead. And this episode is meant for you who are crying every day. No, I'm just kidding. This episode is for you if you struggle to know when to use til instead of for. Now, of course, there are many examples where you would use other prepositions instead of for. In many expressions, you just have to learn which preposition to use and then move on with your life. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the meanings of til and for in some cases, and why til should be used and not for, and sometimes why you can use both and what would be the difference in meaning. Now, first, let's look at the different meanings til can have, the general meanings. The easiest one is for direction. This is very straightforward. You know when to use it. Jeg drar til Norge. I go to Norway. So you can translate literally til with to. Same thing when you talk about giving something to someone. Give to, gi til. Jeg gir en gave til deg. I give a gift to you. Now, remembering these meanings can be very useful later. The fact that you use til when you talk about giving something to one, giving something to someone, and the use of til for direction can be very useful in figurative use. Right? We would say, jeg gleder meg til, I look forward to, right? There's a figurative movement towards something that you would like. A different meaning of til is about belonging. Now, this is different from English. You could say this belongs to me, right? But unless you use the verb belong, you wouldn't use the preposition to alone. But in Norwegian, you will use til for belonging. So we could say boka til Jens, which means the book belonging to Jens, or the book of Jens. So that is different. And another meaning of til is when you talk about use. What is something used for? In English, you say for when you talk about what something is used for. But we say til. For eksempel, boka brukes til å lære norsk. For instance, the book is used for learning Norwegian. What is something used for? Hva brukes noe til? So in some cases, both til and for can be used. I have an episode about the use of til å and for å, which is episode 15. When you talk about what something is used for and you add an infinitive, you use til å. And when you talk about why you do something, you use for å. You can learn more about this in episode 15. But til is not only used with infinitive, and for is not always used with infinitive either. For can actually mean fordi, so you can use it instead of fordi. Jeg lærer norsk for jeg vil det. Jeg lærer norsk fordi jeg vil det. I learn Norwegian because I want to. So, for instance, I could say, jeg har ikke penger til det. In English, you would say, I don't have money for that. For, we would say til in Norwegian. Why? because you're talking about what you're going to use something for. Use money for that. Penger till det. So that's the reason why you would use till and not for in that case. For, just like in English, is used when you do someone a favor. I can do that for you. Jeg kan gjøre det for deg. So here there's no difference. But when the favor includes making something, then it gets more complicated. Because if you say, I can make a cake for you, right? Then there are two options. Either I am just making the cake so that you don't have to make it, but the cake is maybe for your neighbor's birthday party. You're not even going to be there. You're just doing your neighbor a favor, but you can't make the cake. So I make it for you. So focus is just on doing someone a favor. They don't have to do that action. But then another understanding of that sentence is that I make the cake and I want you to eat it. I'm going to give it to you. Remember, when you give something to someone, like in English, to, till, you use till. So if my purpose is for you to eat it, I'm giving it to you, it's a gift to you, then that is my main focus. And in that case, I will use till and not for. So if your sentence contain the favor is something that you make for someone, you construct it for someone, and you want them to have it, then you use till. Now both options are possible with for and till, but there is a difference in meaning. So I would say, jeg har laget en kake for deg. That means that, like, I have made a cake for you. That means that you didn't have to make the cake, I did it. You had to make a cake and you didn't have time, but I made it. Whatever you're going to use it for is irrelevant. My focus is on the fact that I did that for you so that you didn't have to do it. And the other scenario is when I say, jeg har laget en kake til deg. That means I'm giving you a cake. Here you go. Maybe it's your birthday. Eat it. Another example where you would only use till, it doesn't make sense to use for, is where the action, the favor is gone. Jeg har en gave til deg. I have a gift for you. I cannot say jeg har en gave for deg, because here there's no favor. You only see the result. I already have the gift. There's no favor there. I only have the result of whatever I did to get that gift. So here, till is the only option. I'm giving it to you. I have it and I'm giving it to you. It's destined for you. That's what the till means. This is going in your direction. I have a gift going in your direction, going towards you. Now another example where both for and till can be used, but there is a nuance difference. Laget for, laget til. Made for, made for. When you say, for instance, this book is made for kids, that can mean two things, which is more or less the same thing. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose, but I want you to understand the difference. It can mean that it's designed for, so you've had kids in your mind when you made that book. Whereas with till, it's just the book is going to be given to. The goal is to give, and that's your focus. Now, when you go to the movie theater, you have different age limits. which means that the producers know which group of people it is made for. So they had that in mind. It's designed for a certain kind of group. Here you would use for, not til. So we could say for alle, if there's no age limit. For alle. For barn over 7 år. No, I don't think that's an age limit. 6 years, I think. For barn over 6 år, for barn over 10 år, for voksne, etc. In some cases, both prepositions are possible. For instance, with grunn, which means reason, en grunn, you can say en grunn til, a reason for, en grunn for, a reason for. I don't know why we have 2 options. Maybe we are influenced by English. Maybe it should be til and people are still using for. In some cases, that might be true. If you use for where you should use til, it's not a big deal. Norwegians even make mistakes here, using for a little bit too much. Another example is mulighet til, mulighet for, possibility for, or to. Maybe you can say both in English as well. So here you can choose which one you use. Jeg har mulighet til å lære norsk. Jeg har mulighet for å lære norsk. I have the possibility to learn Norwegian. Oh, actually, I guess you would use to. Anyways, but there's one scenario where you have to use for, which is when you want to say there is a chance of something. There might be rain tomorrow, for instance. There's a chance, there's a risk of something. Det mulighet for regn. So if you're not sure which one to use, just use for and it will work. And then you have an example where using til and for would have a difference. You can use both, but it doesn't mean exactly the same thing. Tid til means time for, and tid for also means time for. But be careful. There is time for, and then there is time for. For eksempel, jeg har ikke tid til å lære norsk. I do not have the time to learn Norwegian. Det tid for å lære norsk. It's time to learn Norwegian. It's the moment. It's the right time to learn Norwegian. Jeg har ikke tid til det. I don't have time for that. I don't have available time for that. Remember now I told you that til is used when you talk about what something is used for. And this, I guess, is another example of that. I don't have time that I can use for that. No available time, so no time I can use for that. Or I just don't want to spend my time on that. Det tid for det. It's time for that. It's the moment for that. It's the perfect moment for that. If you're talking about the right moment, det tid for lunch. It's time for lunch. It's the right moment for lunch. Then you use for. Det tid til lunch. There is available time for lunch. We have the time to eat lunch. Both are possible, but different meaning. And finally, to end this episode, I also wanted to give you one very common mistake that people make, where in English there is a tendency of using to. I think you can also use for, but I'm not quite sure. For example, to me, grammar is difficult. In Norwegian, you would say for. For meg grammatikk vanskelig. Or grammatikk vanskelig for meg. So you know for is very often used to talk about what you're doing something for, or doing a favor for someone, or when something is made for someone or something, or designed for. But för can also mean the way the way someone experienced something, how it looks like for or to, I'm not sure, someone, then you would use för in Norwegian and never till. So when people say, det passer för mig, when you're asking about, can you meet on Sunday at 6 o'clock? And they say, det passer, or det passer för mig, then they're actually saying to me, that works. The way I see it in my life, the way I experience it, it works. That's why för is used in that context. This is the reality for me. That's how I see it. That's how I experience it. That's how it is for me, to me. I hope that helps you, as always. Maybe you have some examples you're not sure of. Maybe you've seen examples where both till and för can be used and you don't know the difference, or you don't know why till is used and not for, or the opposite. Please let me know. I would love to hear from you. Ha en fin dag. Vi høres.